Good morning, Tom here, FlipAnything USA. On my blog, I share how I built my real estate empire, starting at 19, millionaire by 28, and that was a long time ago, and I continue to do the same thing. Uh, hey, this morning, I'm really getting close to having these 5 homes ready to sell that I've been talking about. I've been doing the outside landscaping, uh, and I got to tell you, you get these bricks, they're like fake rock. uh, they look like a cut stone, or not cut stone, more like a cracked stone, impact split. I guess you call it a split face stone. They're rough. They're not saw cut. Anyways, so these things are pretty cheap, and I've been putting them around all of the houses that I own, that I'm about to sell. And I'll tell you, there's a lot out there. I probably spent, I don't know, $2,000 or $3,000 a yard, and that's labor included. Um, and man, it's just like framing the house, and then within the house, I'm trying to cut that down. Anyways, so like, and with framing the house, it it just really highlights it. It's just like putting a little, if you ever, I kind of look at it like a framing a picture, right? Um, you got the picture itself, and then sometimes you got a little border around the picture, and then you got another border around that border, and then you got the frame itself. And that's kind of how I've been looking at the houses these days. And that outside frame would be like the fence, and then the next border would be like the grass and the trees, and then the next one would be either some stone landscape or those planters that I've been putting in, and it looks great. Uh, the uh, the neighbors have been complimentary, and I see people stopping and looking. And but anyways, and I just had another house. I got a sixth house here right now, and I got a lot more than that. But what I'm saying, these are ones that I'm considering selling. I don't know, probably a year, 18 months ago. And the house that I bought, it uh, these folks have lived in it for about 35 years. It's super clean, has some of the most gorgeous oak trees I've ever seen. They're enormous, and uh, they anyhow, the house is so nice, and they remodeled it about 10 years ago. And even though they kind of had tastes that kind of go back to a little bit more like the early 90s oak, or even 80s, but like real nice oak cabinets. They have Formica countertops, they're almond, but everything is so pristine inside. And we'll go inside and I'll show you that house. Um, then I almost don't even want to rent it. I just want to sell it to somebody, and it's probably worth about 300,000 easily on the market. But this is a going area. Things are really getting better. I mean, this Trump economy is absolutely awesome, and I do it totally. Even with this coronavirus deal, we have a very very strong country, working and everything else. And I know there's some fear out there, and it's benefiting me in as much as and I'm going to talk more about the coronavirus. I'll make another video on that. But the benefit right now uh, is that they just did an emergency interest rate drop of half a point. Well, that's a lot of money. I mean, that's almost worth refining for a lot of people. Um, but it's great for me because I'm just in the middle of getting a line of credit for like about $1.7 million. And with that $1.7 million, I'm going to go buy a property for about $3 million. I'm going to pull that $1.7 million, and I got a few 100,000 and maybe more. I didn't really check lately to see exactly what I got, but uh, but I'll put roughly $2 million down probably, and I'll try to buy some for three to 4 million. But what's nice about that is this line of credit I'll be getting for a half a point less, and this is going to be short 2 to 4 million, and then after I buy it, I'll sell these homes that I have prepared on the market, and then those will be used to pay off that loan. But I'll be deferring the tax the taxes through the 1031 that we have available to us, and so essentially it allowed me to defer the profit from these other properties into a different, uh, and just basically change the asset, but same ownership. And so it's a real plus right now. You got a real opportunity right now. If you're going to borrow some money, you can borrow it pretty damn cheap. And I mean, for the right deal, you should do that. Now, what's also going to happen is, I don't have any money in the stock market. I never really have been a stock guy, and so there are people that do hurt from it, and it does cause people some concern. Hey, good morning. But the fact that, see, I'm not too worried about it, even though my properties, maybe I'm going to be a little more anxious to sell them a little bit. I'll find out when I test the market and I see how, people come to me. I can tell you right now, I'm in the middle of bargaining on something, and I backed off because I'm going to see, because they refused an offer of 560, or no, I offered much less than that, but they came back at 560, which was about a 100,000 drop from what they're earning. And I said, nah, forget it. And I said, I'm sticking to my 525. So they came back again without me, and I already told them, no, I ain't taking your 560. They came back again at 530, which is their way of saying, hey, we'll take 525, just counter us back. Well, now I'm like, yeah, now I'm not so sure. And it's just my way, because really my original offer on that property was 460, and I probably would buy it for 490 right now, but that's mostly because I got that half a point off interest when I go borrow three-quarters of the money to buy that place. That half a point, it's worth that 30 grand to me, paying maybe 30 grand more than I really kind of want to, because it's something I'd hold. It's next to other assets in one of my big real estate barbells, down on my work end, and in these assets I got right now. I'm driving by some nice properties right now that I own, and there's another one right there, big two-story. Anyways, uh, but so right now, I'm going to get off subject now. Anyhow, Tom's Dream Homes. Okay, so what I'm thinking about doing is, since I have these homes that I'm selling and I'm going to be able to play with a lot more cash here, I thought, you know what, maybe I'll go out and market these things direct, and I won't even bother using an agent on these. There's one of the dream homes right there, right? So look at that. Isn't that looking sharp? I don't know if you guys can see. That looks great. I got to put in some grass. You can see the dirt. And now let's go to dream home number 2. Haven't finished the fence, but I'm telling you, this place is looking great. Look at that backyard. Nice workshop. People can do all sorts of things. And now let's go to this. Remember I was telling you about the stones? Look at these properties. This is something right now. These planters just got put in yesterday. You can see why the bricks are stacked. It's not quite done. But, I've always been a property guy, and I appreciate the piece of land more than the house, because the house is just a replaceable structure. Now, see, it still looks kind of rough, but this thing is looking pretty. You can see at the bottom there's the stones, and then I'm going to put a fence around this property, like you see going in over here. This one's going to be stained. This one will be white, painted white. So I think you guys saw that. I don't know if you saw it or not. Anyways, there's again, 2-story. Nice little ranch style here on my left. Very pretty. And then there's the other one ahead. And then I got another really beautiful lot. Uh, Caddy corner back here. In fact, I'll just show it to you. But yeah, look at this. See, here's the RV. See the 2 strips here? Right here. So I got a gate back here. And I'll tell you something else. I'm not going to get out of the car and screw up the audio again like I did the other day. But I'm going to take that fence that you see there, that privacy fence. I'm going to take that privacy fence, and this is an enormous lot, and the house is way in the front. So this thing goes way back. I mean, like probably 210 feet by about, I don't know, 70. And got 15,000 square feet of land back there probably. It's 1,000 plus square foot lot. Um, so, but see, I know my homes are, I mean, when I buy a property, it has some potential. It's beautiful. I mean, the land is beautiful. It has beautiful trees. It's in a great neighborhood. That's what I buy. Now, there's homes just a little bit that way that are in a class of 600 going into the 800,000s, but they're on postage stamp size lots. I don't like tiny lots. Now, it doesn't mean you can't clean up in an area like that. Believe me, I had somebody tell me the other day I was supposed to go look at their house for 560,000, and they never called me back. And I thought this is me being lazy, I guess, but it's a friend, and he said, hey, an old retired guy, and he said, come, how much you come look at this? So I said, okay, well, let's do it. And he said, well, no, not today. I'll have you do it, next day or two. I said, okay. Well, a few days go by, he tells me he sold it. I go, what? What do you mean he sold it? I ain't gonna see it. I wasn't too worried about it, but I can tell the 560, and knowing the guy how I know him, he probably left $200,000 on the table. It was probably worth 760, and if it not, it is by next year, just because it's the interest. Uh, uh, so what I was saying is the I'm going to go ahead and just market these as dream homes, all cash, cash only, and uh, the reason being is there'll be no appraisals. It gets rid of weak buyers or loan dependent buyers, and I'll just simply point out to them the things that are valuable to me in a property: gorgeous lots, big lots, enormous trees. These are things that you just can't find anywhere. Those are the hard to find stuff. Is gorgeous plots of land, corners. You see those corners I just showed you? Enormous, beautiful corners. Uh, let's see what do we got here. Do I have glasses? I need glasses to read this stuff anymore, guys. Okay. Okay, Yosef. I bought your book and I plan on reviewing it when I'm done. Good, man. Glad you're reading. Uh, have I bought in different countries? I got to think about it before I say anything. Uh, you know what? I went into Mexico and looked at some cool beachfront stuff. I've never foreclosed on bought a tax lien foreclosure. I don't like them because they have the right to uh, to get the property back. A lot of times you go in there and buy it, and they have a certain amount of time to recover the asset, and then they're just loaning your money out there for nothing. So no, but I buy stuff. I've seen people in foreclosure, and I bailed them out of foreclosure. I've caught them up with their payments, got them out of the foreclosure process, and bought it from them. Uh, but they were in the midst of foreclosure. That's more my style. Get there early, before it ever goes. Because if it gets on the courthouse steps, things get bid through the roof. Because a lot of times there's sometimes there'll be a little Mexican family there that they pooled their money together, and they'll pay more than it's worth. They say this is our dream home, and they buy it, or grandpa comes there with money to help his grandkids, and they get caught up in the auction process, and they pay more than it's worth. I've seen it happen, so I don't do it. Don't do it. Um, in fact, I'll tell that's another story. But anyways, but yeah, so that's I just kind of sharing, I sometimes think differently, and it pays off well. But I think I'm just going to go ahead and I'm going to throw an ad in Craigslist today. And I love Craigslist, by the way. I use Craigslist for advertising all my rentals, and I urge you to do the same. And I don't care if you own hundreds of thousands of square feet of property. Craigslist is awesome. You go in there and they under housing, and then you go to now they charge $5 an ad, but that's great that they do. You know why? Because those ads, boom, hardly anybody wants to pay at Craigslist. So I love it. I pay. My ads are there. Everybody sees my ads. If you try to weasel it in, under other sorts of housing instead of commercial rentals, then you're going to get lost a little bit. Somebody will find you, but I just pay for it. And boom, I'm right front and center when they go in, and it pays off. I get my stuff filled up. In fact, I got two. I've actually a couple of health and wellness studios have called me in the last few days, and I love. You're gonna find out. I love gyms and schools, and like I said, I have two jujitsu schools. I have a Montessori school that runs from me. I like schools, and I have a huge beauty school, enormous, that runs from me. And the reason I like those is that nobody's going to really put them out of business. Amazon isn't going to hurt them. Big box store isn't going to hurt them. Because they're a neighborhood. They serve the neighborhood. People want to teach their kids how to dance, how to fight, how to, whatever, cosmetology and, different things that they teach at other schools that I got. Uh, and, uh, and, even restaurants too, restaurants have been good too. I was having a drink yesterday at one of my rentals, and I was just thinking, yeah, it's kind of nice being able to have a drink on one of my own properties. And I've owned a bar myself too, but I don't want to own the business, but I don't mind owning the real estate that the patrons are in. Um, but so, anyways, I don't know if anybody's got any thoughts on that, but yeah, I like the idea of just going straight for the cash. And it'll give you a sense of how much cash is out there when you ask for it. And I know there's a lot of money in my town, uh, but there's just everybody's doing well in a lot of places. So don't ever think that there's not money in your town. People are cleaning up. I got certain businesses that I own, and one of them I'm actually reducing in size. China's killed that company in a lot of ways. Just there's so much cheap Chinese crap manufactured over there, and we don't tax their shit coming in, but if we ship it over there, we get taxed to hell. And so I'm a big Trump fan for that reason, because I know I've been one of these guys that gets screwed with our trade deals, and it's starting to be made even. But now I just don't even care. I'd rather just make the stuff here in the USA and sell it in the USA. And if we finally get the tariffs beat down in these other countries. Because I don't know if people realize this, but I make something here for $1,000. I ship it to China. They add $250 to the price tag just for me to let it go in the country. Then they can come over there. They'll copy my product that I make, and they'll make it there for less. They'll ship it here. We don't tax it at all. And now I've got a product that's a copy of my own in my country, and they're selling it to my customers for less than I can sell one in their country for. That's what's so unfair about that whole mess. But that's a whole different business altogether. But anyways, hey, please hit the notifications button. I like it when you guys, get involved and ask questions, and I'll answer any question you got, or I'll tell you if I don't know the answer. But man, get busy looking. This is a fantastic opportunity. Our economy is doing extremely well. This little coronavirus scare that affects the stock market, and it's lowered your interest rates. That is a fantastic recipe for success. As a real estate investor, you got a huge opportunity. It may mean the values are going to drop some right now, and that's okay. That's okay. It's going to means people are nervous. You can buy. When people are nervous and they start getting scared, man, that's a great opportunity to buy real estate. And then at the same time, when you go to sell it, the tax, I mean, they probably drop the interest rates even more. This, a lot of people don't realize this interest rate being dropped to half a point, that's a big deal. Okay. That that was an emergency rate drop. It wasn't even on the schedule. They dropped it suddenly. And it's fantastic for people that own real estate, that have variable loans, people that buy real estate, because we're going to get it at a better rate. And the fact that when the people that are in the mode of selling, they're generally going to panic a little bit right now. They're going, oh crap, I got to get this thing sold, and so they're getting softer. I already see it now. I'm got a few $1,000,000 worth of real estate I'm selling right now. Am I going to take a little bit of a hit? We'll find out. But even if I get a little bit soft on mine, that's okay. Let's just say I sell everything for 10% less today than I could have last week. That's okay, because I'm going to bargain. Whatever I buy, it's relative to the market. I'm going to be buying stuff that relative to the market today as opposed to last week. I'm going to be getting things for 10% cheaper as well. So it's a wash. It's not a big deal. And again, and like I say, I hope everybody gets to where I'm at, where you just have lots of rentals acquired and, have a lot of property, make money every month. Now, if people start moving out, yeah, and I got some vacancies right now I got to fill. That's one of the things I've been doing, talking about, like I said, these yoga studios and different places, which got me off into this tangent of talking about taxes. But anyways, great time. Don't let anybody scare you. We may go down a little bit, but it doesn't matter. The values of your property go down. Guess what? That means you're going to be buying stuff for less, but the interest rate is right. And what's going to happen is when you buy your property now with the lower interest rate, the interest rate's going to stick even after things get better. You'll still be sitting there holding property at a lower interest rate than you would have if you bought last week. So I know a lot of friends of mine that are in the stock market, and it seems like you always hear about the ones that, yeah, I just bought a bunch of stock last week, and they're like a little frustrated that that they bought at the top and now things have dropped. And that little market move that you saw, even though the market's gone down, say 5, 6, 7%, uh, that's could mean 30% to the guys that bought in just recently, as far as on what they have. So I got another question here. You bought some lots in Arkansas. Oh, you bought some lots in Arkansas. Where are you at? Yeah, I don't like tax sales, dude. I've been to them, and I see properties selling for more than they're worth, and or a full retail. I really, I'll tell you. I'm not going to tell you now, but I'll make sure I tell you guys a story. I'll tell you real quickly. A guy bought a tax sale property. Nobody could understand it, what he bought. I didn't even attend it. This is one deal that could have been a huge super success. It didn't end up being that way because the guy that bought screwed up. And I'll explain what I mean. So let's just say my fingers are homes, okay? My fingers are homes. And now all that space between my fingers, that's a common area, like a park, right? And we're talking, just multiply my fingers everywhere like this, like a dragon, like a lake looks like a dragon sometimes. That's this is the green space, okay? And actually it's kind of stuff that ran down to where there's a creek. If you ever notice, a lot of times when you see a creek, you'll see signs that it's been dug up. And that's because that's where they put the sewer. The creek is the lowest point in an area, right? That's where all the water runs. A lot of people know this. Water runs to the lowest point, right? We all know that. Well, the lowest point is a creek. What they'll do is they'll dig out that creek and they put in a sewer pipe, huge, 36-inch, 4 foot, whatever. They put it underneath the creek. Then they fill back over it. Now the creek's running, but now they have that sewer because it's easy. They're digging it down in the lowest point. And a lot of times that's the softest material or sometimes it's hardest because it gets down to the bedrock. But they dig that out, chip that out, whatever they got to do, and that's where the sewer goes. Well, that becomes the common area. You can't build on it. It's a creek area, but there's a good set aside from that. Well, this guy went to a tax sale. What happened was this real estate subdivision was formed, 40 years ago, and there was this common area had stopped being maintained. Somebody died or something, but there's tax bill to be paid on. Well, then nobody paid attention. Nobody thought about it in the neighborhood. Nobody was taking care of it. Well, so this whole area, we're talking about probably 30 acres of common area, was in default on taxes, and nobody caught it. And then this guy went down and he made an offer on it. And it's just the way the thing looked, it looked sketchy. Nobody, I guess, really, for whatever reason, he was the only one that bid on it. He got it for like $40,000. Well, that's the waiting period. Now there's a waiting period, and this is one of the reasons I don't like tax sales, where they can redeem it. Well, he bought it. Well, nobody even cared because nobody even knew, so nobody was going to redeem it. So remember, I said all the houses, common area. Well, he walks over, cuts through a trail here, and he's just kind of looking at his new property that he's going to own in about 30 days. And the neighbor comes out and says, "Hey, can I help you?" And he says, "Oh, I'm just looking at my property." Big mistake. Big mistake. He goes, "What are you talking about?" He goes, "That's the common area." "Oh, no, I just bought it at the sale." All of a sudden, this neighbor's like, fear, like, "What?" He goes down. That neighbor checks things out, tells the other neighbors. The neighbors get together. They walk the neighborhood. They raise the cash. They pay the taxes. This guy's out. that would have been a multi-million-dollar deal. If he would have got that land, I mean, he would have made 10, $15 million overnight. He screwed up. He screwed up because he opened his mouth. And that's why I say, keep your mouth shut until you have it in writing. Keep your mouth shut until you have it in writing, because that's why, loose lips sink ships, right? That's an old, I don't know how long it's been around, but it's been around probably ever since there's been wars at sea. Uh, anyways, so that's a tax sale that was redeemed, or saved by the person that was in default. Uh, and that's why I don't like them as well, because that can just as well happen to a house or anything else. They find out their house sold, and then all of a sudden, you think you got a deal, and then you got money out there holding it, and I think sometimes you just put 10% down until they get past that day, and then once the day goes by, you pay the rest and get it. Or sometimes you have to pay the whole thing, a couple 100,000 or whatever your purchase is, and then you'll either get your money back or you'll get it. Well, I don't want iffy stuff. There's too many real deals you can make, tie it up, get it, and own it, and it's yours. And that's stuff that I like. I make my money the day the agreement signed. The day the agreement signed, boom, I know I have equity in that property the day I close, and I know I have the rights to it. And that's what you should do. And if you don't have my book, for God's sakes, give my book. I just got interviewed, and I'm going to do some other interviews. Bulldog Mindset. You might want to go to that. John Sonmez, great guy. He did a real nice interview on my book. And another guy, Manny, 2000 Books. We did a nice long interview. And we had a little complication. But we're going to do a series of interviews now, because we came through it. We realized we talked for 2 hours. We could really just do, different things, almost a chapter per chapter in this thing. But this, and actually go to Kindle. I got a fantastic testimonial. Go to Kindle. Amazing. An educator, he said he's going to recommend this to all of his students. Anyways, you got to get started. It's not hard. I've been doing this a long time, and there was a time when I would not even share the information that's in this book. I would never share. Why would I share? Why would I share and have competition, with me? Well, now it doesn't matter. I'm rich. I'm rich beyond my dreams that I ever dreamed when I was younger. Far, far beyond them. And so now, I'm just making a little tutorial for my kids to follow. But I'm out there, and look, I see young people, and that I can relate to, as a young man. The only difference between me and you and the people that don't know what I know, it's not about a lot of intellect. It's just about knowing the path and how to do it. Okay, you gotta know what's available to you. It's like you jump into a pool, you're gonna drown, right? So you're afraid. But if you know how to swim, you don't even worry about it. People that don't know how to swim, they're just like amazed. What? How are you doing that? Right? It's just because you know how to swim. Riding a bike, you get on a bike for the first time, you're like, oh my God, how do I do it? And then all of a sudden you go, oh, this is easy. Well, guess what? That's like this. It's like riding a bike. It's not that. It's really just common sense. And there's, the work isn't just, and that's why you got to love it. I love it. I look, my eyes are open all the time. I'm looking at property. I'm looking for broken windows, damaged stuff, rotten yard. There's all kinds of things to look for. But it's knowing what to do after that. And in fact, I was getting my hair cut. I got a haircut yesterday. And one of the barbers bought my book, and he came over and he started telling me, "Hey, Tom, I wrote a letter," and I said, well, "Wait a minute, what do you mean you put it on a bright yellow card?" I have I tell you about how to write a letter. Very important. I said, "Did you do exactly what I told you?" He said, "Well, yeah, I kind of did it like this." And I go, "Oh, no, dude, no." He did it like on a postcard, a bright. That's what the corporate crap. That's what the home investors and the I buy houses, and they do this commercial crap where they send out tens of thousands of postcards. I go, you just made yourself look like everybody else. I go, I get, sometimes 5 of these a week on some of the houses that I own. You got to make it a little more personal than that. Anyways, all that's in here. $10 on Kindle. Anyways, I can tell you right now, and I'm not pressing you to buy my book, but I'm telling you, it would be very, very unfortunate if you don't already own my book, if you actually do have an interest in buying and selling real estate and making money. I don't even care if you think you're successful. I mean, if you're not as successful as I am, then you should buy the book. It's that simple. I mean, it's like Mark Wahlberg said, because I'm not going to listen to somebody tell me how, and he's in great shape, because I'm not listening to anybody tell me how to get in shape that isn't in better shape than me. Well, that makes sense, right? And I say the same thing. Maybe you could be a lot smarter than me, have a lot more money, but you don't need my help. Okay, you don't need my help. But if you have an interest in buying and selling real estate and making money, then get the book. Do something. This is $10. If you don't invest $10, I mean, I don't know what to tell you. But anyhow, or just watch the videos. Watch the videos. Videos are free. But anyways, I just have to say, so many people procrastinate over nothing. Over nothing. You know what I mean? I mean, a beer is $10. Okay, it's nothing. So, and you got to read it though. Once you get the book, you got to read it. And believe me, I can see people buy the Kindle books. I can't see them personally, but I can see how many pages are read, in relation to how many books are sold a day. And I'm going, geez, man, a lot of people bought books this week, and boy, they're not reading very much. And all of a sudden, boom, everybody read a bunch. And I think it's what it is several people bought the book and they just read it in a couple hours, because it only takes 2 hours to read the whole book. And anyways, and what's funny is I can see what I do like seeing is when in the Kindle book it'll say there's highlighted pages. So it'll let me know, and I'm new to Kindle, by the way, but as far as using one, but you can highlight things within the book that are of interest to you within an electronic digital Kindle book. And what the information it relates back says, hey, people have highlighting, 550 times this week or something like that. Meaning, I like that. It means they're going, hey, I got to remember that. Hey, I got to remember this. That's how you do it. And that's kind of why I like people having the paperback too. I say buy both. And I do have people that bought both. The digital book is great because you'll see a related video. I did do a thing in there called flashbacks. And I talk about an actual deal that relates exactly. And I might even have the contract and everything else I show. But then also, besides flashbacks, since we now have, the internet and everything else, I have related video. So you can go back and I'll talk in detail about a relevant subject to what I just taught you within that chapter. And these are things that, that exist to get educated, and like I love jujitsu. I'm in jujitsu 3-4 times a week, and it's a fantastic thing, and I mean I can't teach myself, and and I pay for that education, and pay hundreds a month, and it's worth every cent because I'm getting stronger, healthier, much better fighter. I mean, a lot of great stuff comes out of it, but it takes effort. I still have to show up to class. I still have to try and fail, try and fail, try and fail, and sometimes try and prevail. Prevail means tapping somebody else out, right? Wrestling somebody, whoever taps loses, and so that's kind of like this. It's you try. You have to try. And some people want personal mentoring for me, and I tell them it doesn't look. I can't help you. If you've got my book, or if you're just watching my videos, that's all you need, because what I tell you in the video is exactly what I would tell you in person. So I can talk to more people this way, and that's why I like it. So anyway, getting off track here, but I'm going to play with the selling the houses stuff, and let me see if anybody wrote anything else here. Hey, thanks, Paul. I like that. Paul said he's got my Kindle book, and when he reads it, he hears my voice. That means you've listened to me quite a bit. So thanks. I appreciate that. All right. Oh, yeah, Clary, how good. Got some testimonials right here. Hey, top of the day, everyone. I do real estate investing in an A-class luxury neighborhoods. I've received some expired listings from my realtor that total well over 2,000 with a price tag of 400K and up. Huh. What are you going to do with that, Jermone? Yeah, well, I'm curious, how are you going to turn that into money? What are you thinking? If you're still here. Hey, anyways, so I'm going to take my kids to school, so I got to go. Uh, let's see, what'd you write? Oh, hey, from Brazil. Hey, I was just in Sao Paulo, up in the mountains in San Jose. Unbelievably gorgeous. Love Brazil. I wish they spoke more English over there. But man, what a beautiful, beautiful country up in Brazil. I tell you what, they got waterfalls up in the forest. You can live off the land. There's so much fruit and things growing. And go to you want to see something beautiful. That's the other thing I'll tell you. This is the benefit of making money, is being able to go see beautiful places. Um, so I was up in the San Jose, Brazil, above Sao Paulo, and my friends had a house there, and they're pulling water from, I think, from the creek or from an artesian well, just right there. In other words, water's right there, and drinking the shower heads. The heater's built into the shower head, so they got cold water coming up. You turn on the water a little bit, and it's cold. You turn it up a little bit, now it's hot, and then you add more water and make it go from hot to warm. Beautiful system, very, very cool for just it's just on-demand hot water. But anyways, beautiful, most gorgeous thing. Sitting, I'll put some pictures up here sometime. But if you can imagine, kind of like just being in a jungle. The local bar there had like a little tiny lake, and you pay $1 for a fishing pole, and you go out there and you catch a fish in the lake. Walk up to the bar, get yourself a beer, and have them fry your fish for $1. And so they're cooking your fish, and so you're catching a fresh fish. You're having it cooked for lunch and drinking beer, and fantastic culture. Really enjoy the people that I know there. But hey, so Brazil, are you going to make some money over there, Deniz? Are you playing with real estate? I know some people that have bought property there, so there's no reason you can't do exactly over there what you're doing here, or what we're doing here. Uh, uh, anyways, again, it's buying and selling, folks. It's based, there's no bad real estate. There's just bad deals. Don't make a bad deal. It doesn't matter. You could have a piece of property that's run down, bad neighborhood, great neighborhood. Doesn't matter. You can pay too much for anything anywhere, and you can buy stuff under market and make a deal anywhere. Doesn't matter. That property has value to somebody. So that's very important. But anyways, I got to get running. I got to take my kids to school. Uh, Please hit the notifications button and be involved. Ask questions. There's not. I mean, there's some dumb questions, but ask good questions, and I'll answer any question I can answer to the best of my ability. And I've done a lot of stuff. So that's it. Please share. Get the book. Get the book. If you don't like it, send it back. It's better than getting screwed at a seminar for $10,000, $20,000, or paying for a course. I mean, if you buy this for $10 and you don't read it, it's better than buying a course that you don't read for 500, right? Uh, oh, hey, Andy from Monopoly. Good to see you. Anyways, Andy's watching. He's got a great channel too, by the way. Recommend this. It's Monopoly, kind of like Monopoly, and property, Monopoly. So Monopoly, Andy's got a lot of great information. He's over in the UK, and I urge you to. Uh, uh, yeah, hey, Denise, thanks for coming in. And please, any questions, man, send me an email if I can help you. I'll try. Also, get my book. I'm curious if you can get my book on Amazon there. I don't know if they'd translate it. That'd be interesting. I mean, well, you obviously you don't need it. You speak English, but uh, if you can, yeah, make me aware of any opportunities that are there to get my book out, I'd like that. Thanks for chiming in. And again, like I say, Monopoly, he's got a channel here, Andy. He's got great content. He doesn't put out a ton of content, but when he makes a video, it's excellent and it's thorough, and it gives you an idea of what's going on and how real estate is a little bit different than maybe in your own country. He's, like I said, he's over in the UK, and I'm actually learning a lot about that area through his videos. So anyways, I'm going to go. So FlipAnything USA, share, subscribe. Please like the video. Please share. Get other people into the station here or into my channel. And like I say, let's just grow and grow together and make money together. And when you make some money using my stuff, let me know. I'll have you on the show, and we'll talk about the profits that you made, and you can share with other people. And that's not something I did when I was younger because I was greedy and all I wanted to do was take. But now that now that I'm set, I'm trying to. I do feel rewarding when I help somebody that is lost. achieve their goal and get property, because I know what a difference it's gonna make a difference for your whole life. It's gonna make things better. Your whole life can be improved. You get wealthier, you get healthier. It's just easier. So that's it. Flip Anything USA. Please share, subscribe, and thanks. I'm gonna take my kids to school. See ya.